Thursday the 17th October, evening time. So the last video I made, the cattle were over in that corner there. I had a little drive through here today and I realised, or I thought to myself, that there wasn't just enough grass in here or on the lower side to do them for the one day. So I probably will be a day or so shorter in this area than I thought. So what I did was, instead of just giving them the half of the field here, I gave them the whole lot. So they have over as far as that hedge there. So I gave them the whole lot this morning, and I'm back now this evening just to give them a couple of squares of hay. And I gave them hay because it's very wet in here. It's difficult to get the trailer in. So this is the carry on now. Now they're super full, but I always like to give them just that little bit extra to keep them content and happy. Now what I'm going to do is, tomorrow is Friday, so I'm not going to get as long as I say out of this bit of an area. So I'm going to let them in behind that hedge there tomorrow. There's a couple of acres in there, a lovely wooded place too. So they'll have a day and a half of grass in there, and I'll probably give them another couple of bales of hay. Not tomorrow, but probably the next morning I'll come down, which will be Saturday morning. Yeah, and I'll probably feed them again Saturday night, and then probably bring them away then Sunday morning. So instead of Monday going up the road, it'll be Sunday. So I think that is the carry on here, but that is a lovely sight now. If I just stay quiet. There's nothing more satisfying than to see them all content and happy and eating away. The weather's been great. We had a little bit of a drizzle today, but now we have rain too. But they're very content. Now the rest, I can tell that they're not that mad hungry, or they like to bunch up. I have another bale spread out here around the quad, and they haven't discovered it yet or looked for it. So as I say, they're completely full. We can look at their stomachs here on their left hand side, just in front of their hip. Perfectly full. So that's just to keep them that bit extra warm. They'll eat that up now in the next hour and they'll be content. So that is the situation. I'll close down and I'll be back in the morning. Next morning, Friday the 18th of October, just after fencing all around a wet place in there on a kind of a hill that slopes into a wet place. So I have them fenced out of there, and I'm just walking back around here. I'm going to open up the fence and let them in. Now we already have a few gone in under the fence calves, but we don't mind too much. So we have a kind of a blustery day today. It's threatening rain, but not too bad. They had this nice dry bank here for the last 24 hours, and they're chewing their cud and they seem to be content enough. Something I've noticed here now as well, we have lovely, we have a kind of a crab apple tree here, and the cattle are eating up all those apples, which will be nice. So we have more or less all of our calves under. Well, that's the only ruby calf that goes under. I thought these would be the ones that would misbehave, but it's mostly the shorthorns. There's my 3 shorthorns there, even though they look like, well, they are Galloways too. But this lady has gone under. Yeah. Right, okay. Jasper, what do you think? We'll open up this fence now and leave them in. Let me just get myself sorted. Well, they have all the hay yet anyhow, so they were glad of it. So it was well worth giving. So here's all my apples. All these apples were, our fence is here obviously, so all your apples are here. They were covered in apples here yesterday as well, so they have the majority of them ate up. So I'm looking forward to seeing all that gone now tomorrow. That'll be definitely a bit of feeding for them, and they're all inside here as well. So there's a lovely little wooded area in there for them to shelter. If I was the kind of man that was on for holding them up in winter time, there would be an ideal living shed. They could stay in there, and you could bring your father in and feed him there, but you would then fall into a position where they have too much fertility left down in the one area, and that's not a great thing either. So I like to keep them moving, keep them spread out, keep the fertility spread out, not to cause an over fertility in certain areas. That's where we start to get into problems as well. So they have all those ash leaves as well. They're very fond of them ash leaves. I'm just noticing in here now that there's no real leaves in there on the ground. Well, there is. There is sycamore leaves. There's a sycamore tree here, but there's a load of ash leaves that are falling there. They lap up all them as well now. And there's bits of ivy. So this is a very, very, very diverse area for them. I'm very happy with this place in here. It's great to have it. So they can have that ivy, they can have those apples, they can eat those leaves, and then we have a bit of picking for them as well. So I'm going to leave them in here now for the next 24 hours. I'll feed them. They won't be needing feeding tonight. I'll feed them first thing in the morning. That's Saturday morning. I'll feed them then Saturday night, and then I'm going to move them Sunday morning. So that is the carry on with here. So they'll have, what's that, 2 days, is that? 2 days of picking through all these nice apples. Like if I just do this, watch for a sec. You can see them still dropping. I'll catch that there now, they'll be all falling on top of me. So there we go. The wind is blowing, that's where they all came from. Right, I'm going to pause this here now and I'll let them in. So they're already gone in ahead of me. Who's behind me? Belle, you're last. And our already in crew. So we've had rain and now we have lots of wind, so we're getting a nice kind of a wash, cut and blow dry here. Well, not a cut, but a nice wash and blow dry. The calf stuff look nice and fluffy. So I have to close up this gap here now. And let me just walk in and show what it's looking like and what they have for the next couple of days. As I say, I'm very fond of this place here. Beautiful area for cattle. Now I'm going to separate the few, this little calf here and Red Clare, she's going, and the bull will be coming back home with me now when I move them back up the road. So I'm going to separate them out and do that job, and then that will be my herd for the winter here, and I'll have a little micro herd then at home as well. And unless things change, I might then, I don't know, we'll see how we get on. Anyhow, I'm going to introduce, I'm going to leave the bull into that red shorthorn heifer at home. That's with the black Friesian cow. I'm going to bull her, even though she'll be late, but I'm glad now I kind of held on to her. She turned out a nice enough heifer. What else is there? Yeah, I know I'm kind of on the high end of numbers at the minute, but because I've reduced my frame size, I'm definitely noticing it a lot easier to maintain them and to keep them fed when I leave them into a certain area. Even though with the numbers high in to my standards, there's lots of grass left. They're not hungry, look. And they're full, I'm trying to say. So yeah, so I'm not in a mad panic to sell, even though I should. But there I am talking myself into, this boy's going to go anyhow. Maverick is starting to loosen or soften up. She's definitely in calf anyhow. You notice first calf heifers softening early when they go in calf, and they thrive down very well too for the first while. The hormones are a great thing. So yeah, that is the story. I've no other news. I'm going to split out a few of them, get them on up the road, and see how I get on. As I say, everything I say is subject to change. Little shits. Look at that. Brutal, they call that. Right, for now, on the, what is it, the 19th? 18th, can't remember. Friday, October. We'll say good luck and goodbye. I know I've said good luck, but I had to put this in at the end. Just look at them all now, eating up them apples. They're absolutely loving them. There's a heap of them at the back there as well. I love it.